From Fernando Alonso screwing over his teammate to Michael Schumacher almost killing someone with his car, this is the ultimate list of the most controversial Formula One drivers of all time. Let's kick things off with Fernando Alonso. He's been a controversial figure throughout his long-standing career in the sport. During the Hungarian Grand Prix in 2007, he held his teammate Hamilton in the pit lane, costing him crucial seconds. As a result, Alonso took pole position, but both he and the team faced penalties. However, nothing tops the controversy surrounding Alonso in Singapore in 2008. In a shocking turn of events, Renault ordered their second driver, Nelson Piquet, to crash his car deliberately. This strategic move allowed Alonso, who had just pitted, to gain a significant advantage and win the Grand Prix. The scandal would have remained unknown if not for Nelson's revelation the following year, leading to Renault's disqualification. But who can forget the fan-favourite nice guy of Formula One? Yup, I'm talking about Sebastien Vettel. Over time, Seb gained a reputation for being one of the kindest personalities on the grid. He championed human rights issues, fought for action against climate change, and most importantly, was a friend to everyone. During tough times for his fellow drivers like Daniel Ricciardo and Mike Schumacher, Seb offered his support. He even celebrated Mike's first ever F1 points with genuine joy. But it hasn't always been smooth sailing for Seb, as he's had his fair share of controversies. One important moment was during the Malaysian Grand Prix in 2013, where Seb disregarded team orders. At the time, he was a 3-time world champion and on his way to winning his 4th. Red Bull Racing was no stranger to internal tensions between these two talented drivers. As the race neared its climax, Red Bull issued the infamous multi-21 team order, instructing Vettel to hold his position and let Webber take the victory. Perhaps fueled by his pursuit of success, Seb ignored the team's instructions and overtook his teammate, Mark Webber, to win the race. Another controversial incident involves a clash with Lewis Hamilton during the intense 2017 championship battle in Baku. In a moment of frustration, Seb rammed his wheel into Hamilton's car, believing it was a deliberate brake test. Despite the controversy, he received only a penalty for his actions. Fast forward 2 years and Seb found himself in yet another controversy while leading a race against Hamilton. Under pressure, he made a mistake and ran off the track, gaining an advantage but receiving a penalty. Disagreeing with the decision, he protested by swapping the first sign in front of Lewis's car with his own. This next guy's got a lot of years left on him and many more controversies on the horizon. Max Verstappen, everybody. Max is kinda controversial too, isn't he? He's one of the least liked guys on the grid right now, but it makes sense. He's successful, and I mean super duper successful. The 2023 season is just halfway done, and everybody knows he's going to be the world champion based on how great of a start he had. This means that fans of other teams will always find an excuse to hate him. But here's the thing, they don't have to look that far. You see, when it comes to Hamilton, Max can be a bit of a jerk. For example, in Monza in 2021, Max left the Briton no space and crashed his car into Hamilton, flying over him, rendering both cars unable to complete the race. This incident would have nearly killed Lewis. But there's more than that. It's the fact that when it comes to wheel-to-wheel racing with Hamilton, Max has zero etiquette. He can be rough and annoying, and frankly, he never leaves space. That's why he pissed off Hamilton fans in Brazil in 2022 when he crashed into Lewis. He took away what would have been his only win of the season. But that's not all that happened during that race, because you've got to remember, that's the race when he completely and utterly disregarded team orders. You see, Max had wrapped up the championship easy. He could have missed all the races and still been crowned world champion. But his teammate Sergio Perez was in a tight battle for second with Ferrari's Charles Leclerc. So when Sergio was right behind him and Max was told to let him through, he just straight up refused. He did not let this happen, and it cost his teammates some crucial points. So much so that folks in Mexico, Sergio's home country, were screaming chants against Verstappen. Now, let's hope he gets better, because some people already don't like him. But that's what happens when you're successful, doesn't it? Because look at Lewis Hamilton. This guy's had very few on-the-track controversies, yet he's still one of the most controversial and divisive figures in the sport. But not everything said against him appeared out of thin air. I mean, he did leak telemetry data in 2012. Okay, it was kind of a blunder because he tweeted a picture, and it was some sensitive information that his team's rivals really shouldn't have known. Really can't blame him for not knowing his way around tech, though. He also got into trouble in 2015 when he crashed his car in Monaco, and it wasn't an F1 car. It was a regular road car. Well, not regular, it was worth £1.5 million. He crashed it because his foot slipped. And that was controversial because he was found to be sober. He was just sleep-deprived and unwell, so he really shouldn't have been driving in that state. Imagine being so nice that people start going off the track to find dirt on you. But there was one incident that got Hamilton disqualified during the 2009 Australian Grand Prix. Jarno Trulli, driving the Toyota, slid off the track by mistake and Hamilton saw an opportunity. Hamilton zoomed past Trulli, thinking it was fair game, and claimed that his team, McLaren, had never asked him to let Trulli pass. This caused Trulli to be penalized, moving him down the race results. Later, McLaren's radio messages were exposed, revealing a different story altogether. Turned out that McLaren had indeed instructed Hamilton to let Trulli regain his position. Hamilton was disqualified from the race, meaning his result was wiped off the board. And McLaren? Well, they faced a hefty 3-race ban. Talk about a major blow for both driver and team. But this next driver takes the cake when it comes to being the most controversial figure in the sport, Michael Schumacher. Let's start with the 2002 Austrian Grand Prix. You see, folks, Schumacher was a man on a mission. He was on his way to add a third Drivers' Championship, so while he won 4 of the first 5 races, he was behind his teammate in the 5th one. So Ferrari asked his teammate to slow down, which he did, but Schumacher fans didn't like this and were booing him. So he let his teammate climb onto the podium. This really pissed off the FIA, and these guys not only banned team orders, but they also fined both drivers $1 million for messing with team orders. But the one no one will forget is the clash between Michael Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve during the 1997 season. It was the final race of the season, the European Grand Prix in Jerez, Spain. Schumacher and Villeneuve were neck and neck in the championship battle, tensions running high. The stakes couldn't be higher. As the race unfolded, Villeneuve was hot on Schumacher's tail, determined to make a move and snatch victory from the German driver. And then it happened. That fateful moment on lap 48 that would go down in F1 history. Villeneuve made his move and inched closer to Schumacher's car, ready to overtake. But Schumacher, feeling the pressure, decided to take matters into his own hands. In a controversial move, he deliberately turned his car into Villeneuve's, causing a collision that sent both cars spinning off the track. While Villeneuve managed to recover and continue racing, Schumacher's car suffered serious damage, forcing him to retire. And that wasn't the end of it. The FIA stepped in and took swift action, disqualifying Schumacher from the championship and stripping away all the points he had earned throughout the season. Yikes! If you want to see more of F1 drivers going too far, like and subscribe to the Grid Report, where we bring you the latest F1 updates.